Well, hello everyone. Welcome. This is video number 88 of How to Get Anything You Want from Elsie Lincoln Benedict. How to get anything you want in 7 lessons. We are on the 7th lesson, How to Make Your Desires Materialize. This is the last lesson. We are on the last few pages, y'all. There she is right back there. We read this entire book together. If you missed any of the, look at there's coffee on there. How embarrassing. Um, that is actually some sort of drink. If you missed any of the previous readings, go ahead and check out the playlist on my YouTube under How to Get Anything You Want by Elsie Lincoln Benedict. I was out all day. I got some sun. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's warm and I am here for it. So, and it's still kind of warm right now. But anyways, let's jump right into our video number 88, our reading number 88. And we left off, oh, it was so good, where she told the story of the two brothers. One, E, we represented Easy Street, and the other was Best, B for best, or did the best what was best. And that's how it is in life, that we either do, like, we pay the price, as she calls it. Neville Goddard talks about that, the price of the great pearl, or the pearl of great price. It's what we give in return, and it's energetically. It's the internal work that we give to get what we want in life, and we can't shortcut it. We can't find a easy way, a hack around it. We all have to pay that price, but it doesn't have to be painful. It's going to be uncomfortable, that's for sure, because we're growing and we're pushing ourselves to step into the higher version of who we are, but that can be fun. You know what I mean? I was using examples of great athletes like the Kobe Bryants, or, Major League Baseball players who are all stars. They get to reap the rewards, or great actors, or musicians. They want to get the Grammy and all of the accolades. And to do that, they put in the work of the practice and the rehearsal and the voice lessons, or when it comes to sports, the practice every day, the conditioning. And that might be seen as painful to some people, but we can fall in love with it, right? Fall in love with doing it every day. But it's our mindset, our attitude about it. And people that try to shortcut it, they end up failing. Like, they might succeed for a short period of time, but when it comes to like longevity and sustaining success, there's no shortcut to that. She says, another story from life comes to my mind. So she's going to tell us another story about two young women who grew up in the same small town and were chums through their public school days. The parents of both were poor, but G's not so quite so destitute as were L's. So she's using G and L. We'll call it Gina and Linda. Gina and Linda. Okay. So another story of these two women who grew up in the same small town. They were friends all through their public school days. The parents of both were poor. Did I say Gina? Gina and Linda. We'll do Gina and Linda. Okay. So both of their parents were poor, but Gina's not quite as poor as Linda's. When it came time to go to college, each knew she would have to earn her way through if she got further education. Gina could not bring herself to work for her board and room as Linda did. Her pride, she declared, couldn't permit her to. She married a cafe owner whom she confided to Linda. So Gina married a cafe owner whom she confided to Linda. She didn't really love, but he made enough so that she could take life easy. Ooh, Gina be taking life easy. Okay, she married a cafe owner. This she proceeded to do while Linda was away at university doing housework for her board and room, janitor work in one of the university buildings for her tuition, and library work for her clothes. All right, so Linda's a hard worker. Gina don't want to do that because she's too prideful. She doesn't want to work for her room and board. Gina lived a pleasant life in her little hometown, while a servant of her own, pretty with a servant of her own, pretty clothes, a horse and buggy. This was pre-auto days, and took life pleasantly in general. How can you give up 4 whole years? Asked Linda, who was home for a few days at Christmas. Okay, so Gina ended up marrying the cafe owner, lived a pleasant life in her little hometown. She had a servant of her own, pretty clothes, a horse and carriage. Her life was pleasant. And Gina said, Linda, how can you give up 4 whole years of going to college, university? She asked Linda, who was home for a few days at Christmas. When you'll have nothing to show for it at the end of that time except a few ideas. You'll be that much older, less attractive, less eligible. I wouldn't change places with you for anything. Why to think of your doing why to think of your doing plain ordinary housework like my Hannah and janitoring like old Miss Whitby, the scrub woman. It's silly. Why don't you come home, marry some nice man while you're still young enough to get one, and act like the rest of us? So Gina is trying to tell Linda, why are you going to school, scrubbing the toilets, doing all this? Just come home, marry a nice man. Take it easy, Linda. Listen, Linda, take it easy. But Linda kept on. Through the hardships, which horrified Gina, were nothing compared to the heartaches nobody ever knew about. She didn't mind the work, but how she did mind never having a day or an hour of her own. How her soul yearned when on Saturdays other young men and women went laughing past the house and took the streetcar for the football game. How she ate her heart out because not a single one of the young men ever asked her to go anywhere. Poor Linda. Of course, she could not have spared the time to go if he had, but it would have been such a consolation to be invited. She knew, of course, that it didn't help matters any for her to be seen at 4 o'clock every afternoon in a brogans and denim skirt scrubbing down the old circular stairs as her fellow students filed out from late classes. By the time Linda had graduated, Gina was tiring of her cafe owning husband who wanted babies in the house and was thinking of the divorce, which she soon after secured. Ooh, Gina got divorced. Her alimony was sufficient to keep her in pretty things and a fair living. So she came to the big city where Linda was by now taking her postgraduate course. Linda, with her seriousness, plainness, and studiousness, was more of a mystery than ever to Gina, who insisted that she drop those moldy old books and have some fun. Gina soon married again, a bond salesman this time, but he died some years later, leaving her only $6,000 in life insurance. This was soon spent on the clothes and travel, which she considered necessary to catch a new mate. But by this time, she was so much older and so overweight from self-indulgence that she was not successful. Ooh, Gina. Today, she works in a St. Louis drugstore for $21 a week and complains that life has never treated her as well as it did her old friend Linda. Linda, by the way, after 30 years of unrelenting mental and physical effort, made $1 million. She is happily married to a brilliant, broad-minded man, and they do together the work they both love. It simply isn't fair, wails Gina. Some people get everything. In his famous essay, Compensation, Emerson says, "The law is eternal. Nothing in nature is given. All things are sold." And he might have added, to the highest bidder. For nature is somewhat like an auctioneer. She has no favorites. He who is willing to pay most gets most, and he who pays least gets least. You cannot see the wheels go round, but they do. Nature also keeps books. That's like the, universal laws. They balance the books. Nature also keeps books, the most accurate set in the universe, and on them, each of us can have a charge account, every so often payable. Then one day she comes in person to collect. No duns, no bills, in advance, no notice, just the price on demand. When for any reason she gives you plenty of time, think not that she has forgotten. She will come upon you unawares, hand you your bill, hand her the bill with compound interest, and you must meet it on the spot. But if you pay cash for her wares, you are on her favored list as a valued customer. You will always get the best she has, and gifts besides. The really brainy people meet her obligations in advance. They know that with real success, it is pay as you enter. The price of success is never as high nor as hard to get as the failures have been frightened to think. In life, as in many other things, the cheapest is the best. In life, as in many other things, the cheapest is the best. What does that mean, ma'am? Dreams fulfilled, said someone, are things bought and paid for. Dreams fulfilled are things bought and paid for. It all depends on whether we are ready to pay the marked price or wait till bargain day. Frank Crane says every man's career is a struggle between the two natures in us, the angel and the brute. The first thing to do, therefore, is to recognize that all decent, wow, Carla. The first thing to do, therefore, is to recognize that all decent life must be in terms of conflict. Because you feel this unceasing war within you is no sign that you are bad or selfish or meaner than other people. You are simply human. You might as well complain that you do not have 3 hands or that you do not possess supernatural powers of vision or hearing, as to complain that your inclination does not always agree with your duty. Having recognized this fact, don't worry over it. Don't grow morbid. Don't call yourself names. Don't develop self-contempt. And above all, don't get into the mire of self-pity. It's a fight. You have to make it. It's a fight. You have to make it. Go to it gaily. Go to it with joy, with high courage, and with gladness that you are disposed to fight and sure to win. You can always dodge the fight by yielding to your lower nature, but you know the nasty side of that. It means a weak, flabby, unclean mind, a spirit that must loathe itself. But you can be much more comfortable than the sensualist if you will make up your mind that you will do what is right every time, no matter how you feel. It's called self-discipline, giving yourself a command and following it, even when you don't want to do it, when you don't want to go to the gym. Doing it anyway. Don't letting your emotions, your senses, your 5 senses, the sensualist, giving into just what feels good. When we allow our emotions to dictate our decisions in life, we are a slave. We're a slave. When we are the leader and we dictate, like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about it, like you train your mind like a puppy. Like that's truly how it is. I had that funny metaphor. I don't know if you ever heard that. If I told it on this series. I had a dream that I was teaching a metaphor in a class, and it was about potty training your brain, potty training your mind. Like if you don't potty train, it's like a puppy, it'll wander. It'll wander, it'll get into trouble, it'll start chewing things up. Like if you think about the way your untrained mind, your undisciplined mind just takes in intrusive thoughts, starts thinking this, like squirrel, 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 here, there. It's like an untrained puppy just running around like Tasmanian devil, pooping and peeing all over everything if you don't potty train it, right? That's literally how our mind is, like crapping all over us, peeing in the corner. It's like this is our inner home. We must train our minds like we train puppies. Like, have you potty trained your brain? Isn't that funny? All right. So you can be much more comfortable than the sensualist. So you can be more comfortable than the person that just goes to what feels good to their 5 senses. If you will make up your mind that you will do what is right every time, no matter how you feel. This will not give you the same kind of pleasure that the self-indulgent have, but a far better kind. For there are 2 sorts of enjoyment. One, that of yielding. So there's 2 kinds of enjoyment. One, that of giving in, and the other, that of overcoming. And it is the overcomer who gets the crown of life. For instance, there is pleasure in lying in bed, in eating and drinking and gratifying the various animal cravings of the body, also in reading books that divert you but require no mental effort, in going to the theater, in being flattered, praised, complimented. In all these things, your pleasure is passive. There is pleasure, on the other hand, in exercise, in going without food and drink that would harm you, in denying the body's demands so as to satisfy the wants of your intelligence, of pleasing your conscience by trampling on an appetite of intellectual discipline, etc. Wow. All these are the soldier kinds of joy. They are better than the soft kind because they last longer. They strengthen your mind and body. They make your tastes finer, your whole enjoyment of life keener, your range of delights wider, and although you get a deal more fun out of living, and altogether you get a deal more fun out of living. The latter joys are just as selfish as the former, but an intelligent selfishness is unselfish. He that saves his life shall lose it. He that saves his life shall lose it. So all these are the soldier kind of joys. They are better than the soft kind because they last longer. They strengthen your mind and body. They make your tastes finer, your whole enjoyment of life keener, your range of delights wider, and altogether you can deal more fun. You can deal more fun out of living. All right. Scientifically speaking, all you have to do, scientifically speaking, all you have to do to go to hell is do nothing at all. So scientifically speaking, all you have to do to go to hell is nothing at all. The wind blows that way. Just do as you please. Don't resist. Gratify all desires. Never mind conscience. And hell will be along pretty soon. Heaven is uphill all the way, but it's keen and bracing exercise. It means a healthier body, livelier mind, and happier spirit every day. And at the top, you always get the morning star. Oh my God. We're going to stop right there. I was just thinking about that. I mean, I've shared that I'm sober, right? I am so glad I am sober. Like, whatever it is, like, that was my vice. That was my 1 degree, the thing that I could not break out of. I did in the moment. I would enjoy it. I would give in. I would enjoy it, but it was painful, and it just like, mm-mm. So what is that for you? Is it overindulging in food? Is it other types of external pleasures that feel good in the moment, but you don't like how you feel afterward, or it's getting in the way of living your best life? Like, give yourself a challenge, whether it be for 6 months. Remember, I just started with a year. I gave myself a year. Trick yourself. Give yourself 6 months to a year, minimum 6 months. I find that that is at least 6 months. Don't go shorter than that because you don't really get in my personal opinion, like the benefits just aren't there. Like the stakes aren't high enough. If like a birthday's coming up or a milestone, or it doesn't matter. You can start on Monday. It doesn't even matter what day it is, right? Just there's an app where I don't know where my phone is, but it's called I Am Sober. It's in the App Store called I Am Sober. I Am Sober app. And you can pick from many different addictions that you want to break. And you can type in your own. You can modify it to type in your own. And it'll track your sobriety, so to speak, from abstaining from something that you know is getting in the way of living your best life. But wow, what a powerful lesson. That's the truth. Like being disciplined, giving yourself a command and following it. And again, it's not like we're sacrificing all of the fun and then just to deserve something later in life. No, it's just like if we want to live a sustainable, long-lasting, good life and have those good results that are really built on solid foundation, it's gonna take that slow conditioning. It's not overnight. It's not like all gonna happen at once. You know what I mean. Oh, there's so many metaphors to describe that, but yeah. We all have to pay that price, and it could be a good price. She says it's like heaven is uphill all the way, but it's a good and fun exercise. You have a healthier body, a livelier mind. It like I remember, I will never forget. I think it was cheer camp. Yes, I was a cheerleader. And I remember in the cheer camp, like they really like, you know, I think all in summer camps, no matter what sport you're in, like I was in softball too, but like they would put you through like gruesome, grueling suicide, like those suicide runs and like lunges and wall sits and like you just wanted to throw up. But like there was something fun about it, right? It's like you were with everybody and like my legs, woo, like never looked better. Let me tell you what. I wish I was in a cheer camp again. But it's like a good kind of pain. It's a good kind of challenge. It feels good afterward. It's like going to the gym. You don't want to go to the gym, but after you do, you feel good about it, right? So it's worth it. It's worth it. It's the price we pay for greatness. And it's worth it because it makes us better and it feels good. And it feels good it builds confidence when you follow through on what you say you're going to do. So I really like that lesson. All right, y'all, we'll continue. We just have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll probably get to maybe get to 100 videos. Who knows? Anyways, this was video number 88. Again, if you missed any of the previous readings, they are on the playlist on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, I encourage you to hop on over to YouTube and check out the epic playlist that we have of this book, How to Get Anything You Want by Elsie Lincoln Benedict. This was such a treat. So thank you for your love and support. If you need support in any way, if you need support and you want to work with me or chat with me, I have free consultation calls. All the information is in the description box below. Reach out, leave a comment. How was this for you? What stood out today in today's reading? Let me know. I appreciate all of your comments, your love and support. And we will continue tomorrow. It's Monday. All right, let's have a beautiful week. I'll see you tomorrow.